Hey everyone, my name is Randy Chavez, and this is how I'm justifying to myself my new goal of acquiring 1 billion OMI. I came into finance as a big underdog and a nobody. No one ever thought that a first-generation immigrant with 1 semester of community college could be successful in the finance industry. But they didn't know. They forgot that I was Randy Chavez. I earned many awards, promotions, and medals in the military. I do my research. They forgot that I was the most successful underwriter in the high-risk lending industry since its inception in the 2000s. How? I did my research. They forgot that my second company was launched 3 weeks before the Rona hit and shut down the entire economy, and I'd still turned profit that year. How? I did my research. What did my research tell me about VeVe? It told me that once again, people forgot. They forgot that they had the reigning winner of EY's Entrepreneur of the Year, David Yu. They forgot that this company has the most sales of any digital collectible company in the history of the world. They forgot that they have sold out more drops than not 4 out of the last 5 years. They forgot that new additions to the team, such as Ben Rose, has helped build successful companies before. They forgot that VeVe has sold over 12 million comics and collectibles throughout half a decade in existence. Or that magical things can happen when you put in 100% effort, not working for 8 hours or even half a day, but 14, 16, or even 20-hour days. Not sleeping because they're working so hard. They forgot. They forgot that no other CEO ever got the Pokemon license as a teenager like David Yu had. They forgot that VeVe attracts talent from both small and big companies alike. Ben Rose, coming in from being CEO at Binance New Zealand and Australia, is a great example of that. They forgot that VeVe made millions for companies like Disney, Marvel, and more, and can cash in on those favors at any time. They forgot, but I didn't. Fudders will tell you that OMI is dead despite it being attached to the most successful digital collectibles platform in history. And they say it's only a matter of time before VeVe goes down too, ensuring the token's demise. But what if I told you that there are plans to advertise and make the token great again? What if I told you that the Fudders and Bears logic is deeply flawed and does not serve the public's best interests? What if you wake up one day and realize that the bearish sentiment we've had the last year has been perpetuated by a few determined bears and Fudders with multiple accounts, and has nothing to do with the actual sentiment of the community? What if propping up and listening to unsuccessful YouTubers has endangered your current and future bags? What if listening to hateful, maniacal, poverty-stricken trolls is directly related to how some people perceive the company? What if one day it dawns on us that losing out on millions of dollars, potentially millions or tens of millions of dollars of gains, is not a fair trade-off for refusing to buy something because you're mad at a few delays? No matter how many times VeVe says VeVeverse marketing and stacker rollouts are on their way, which they are. What if we realize that traders, even though sometimes successful, are almost always worse off than the investors that buy and hold good tokens and projects? What if all anti-VeVe and OMI rhetoric is paid for through the deceitful act of leaking inside info from a former employee? What if we see that Fudders use bear market conditions to try to undermine and manipulate people out of good projects? What if the hysterical bears weren't telling the truth, and that there's no empirical evidence or data points that they're referencing, just the same old tired talking points from yesteryear? What if the bulls understood once again that their only logical step is to double down on possibly the greatest investment of their life, like me and some friends are doing? What if sleeping VeVe fans woke up and understood that the official reasons for VeVe delays were almost all because of the lies and propaganda promoted by somebody who's no longer a threat, and that it's smooth sailing from here on out? What if we as a VeVe fam came to realize that the VeVe company is already disrupting the collectibles business and is in the perfect spot to potentially be a $1 trillion company one day? What if Ben Rose has no intention of leaving VeVe after 1 to 2 years, like he did with previous companies, because he recognizes that VeVe is the best opportunity for growth in the world? What if Ben has contingencies planned for a hiring spree once VeVe madness sweeps the collectibles communities, and that VeVe will grow their team yet again? What if OMI investors learn the truth and that the risk to reward ratio for OMI is much simpler than the unsuccessful Fudders tell them? And that the thesis of the company has only ever changed for the better? What if the manipulation of the OMI token was to shake out weak hands in order to better serve the whales who can see the future and want to accumulate more? What if the bears and Fudders with myopic viewpoints are completely wrong about VeVe and OMI and they get you wrecked worse than the stockbrokers did in 07 and 08? What if the former YouTubers turned VeVe employees actually taught intelligent investment strategies and not getting into rug pulls like Mammoth AI, like other Fudders would have had? What if investing in OMI and VeVe is found to be superior to memes and rugs in protecting your bags? What if I told you that I've seen the future and that's why I'm bullish? What if I told you that I had the fewest defaults in the high-risk lending industry and that I've never gotten a position of this size wrong? Now, what if my concerns about the lying bears and fudders are completely unfounded? You don't purchase anything and you lose nothing. But what if my concerns about the fudders are justified and ignored? You don't purchase anything and miss out on what could be the greatest opportunity of a lifetime. Well, Chavez, how do you know this? Well, I don't, but in 2021, 2022, there were countless NFT projects that were able to raise a couple $1 million from VCs on the sole aspect of we're an NFT company, and they took estimates of what they'd likely sell and the growth of the market. 98% of those companies have closed their doors because they overextended themselves on their run rate, they didn't have a working product by the end of it, and there was no intellectual property that people could identify with. It proved that pixelated 2D pictures of animals would not be the end-all be-all for digital collectibles. People need something that has a history as well as something that they trust. The VeVe company has the top IP in the world, from Disney to Star Wars to Marvel to DC, Universal, all nostalgic brands with everyone's favorite characters. Rhetorical question. If you were a hedge fund manager and you had the option to sell your clients on digital collectibles, what would you pick? Pixelated 2D pictures of random animals? Or high-end 3D digital collectibles of Spider-Man, Superman, and Batman that you can take pictures with in augmented reality? That's not even a hard call. The next thing you need to look at is the CEO. Who runs the company? Are they the CEO who's just there to think quarterly and receive bonuses in short term? Or are they the original owner and they do it because they're passionate about what they do? Elon Musk is the owner and CEO of Tesla. No one else can do what they do the way he does because of his intelligence, experience, and intimate knowledge of electric vehicles, which is disrupting the combustion engines. David Yu has been a winning entrepreneur award since he was a teenager, and he's the only teenager to ever get the Pokemon license, as I said before. He has over 30 years of collecting experience, has several successful businesses in the industry, and digital collectibles are disrupting the multi-billion-dollar collectibles market. Hundreds of billions of dollars, to be more precise. And you want to know the biggest issue that my clients had when I was buying and selling Pokemon cards? It was their wives telling them that they ran out of room. The physical collecting hobby has its limits because of the space. This problem is immediately solved with this disruptive technology. There are very few people who are willing to work 60-hour weeks when working for someone else, and even fewer who will do 90 to 100-hour weeks working for themselves. David is one of those people. In the same way that kids nowadays say real recognizes real, business owners who are workhorses can recognize their own. I have it, my investors have it, and I can tell you that David Yu has it. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And David is building a dream company that I believe can be one of those rare trillion-dollar companies. And I know what you're thinking. Chavez, didn't you just say that collectibles market is a multi-billion-dollar industry? Well, how do you get to $1 trillion out of that? Well, you know Mark Zuckerberg, obviously. Crazy, but also crazy smart. From Facebook to buying Instagram and WhatsApp, he doesn't miss. And he's incredibly effective at remaining relevant. He currently has a run rate of $25 billion per year, and he's spending on the metaverse. And if he didn't have 40,000 people looking for bad content on his platform so that he could ban them, he'd have an even higher run rate. This run rate will sustain for the next few years until he ups it again. And conservatively, by 2032, he'll have spent $250 billion on the metaverse. He's not doing that because the metaverse is just going to be worth $500 billion. He's doing it because it's a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. And sure, Facebook will make its money back and more, but it's already over $1 trillion market cap. So keep this in mind. The better ROI will be had in a company that has a lot of room to grow. Those VCs who threw millions at random NFT projects will cream themselves to buy VeVe's OMI token because of the high-end collectibles and the ability to use them in the metaverse, especially when they figure out that David is incorporating these characters with artificial intelligence. The metaverse is to NFTs as to what Viagra is to a green M&M, and when everyone realizes that the OMI token is the main currency of the VeVeverse, we will pop off like one of Elon Musk's rockets. We have the product, the problems it solves, and we have the leader. And I know what you're thinking. Well, what about Ben Rose? Isn't he the co-CEO at VeVe? Ben says in 5 years we'll be a household name. This is interesting because previously he said that his short-term goal for 2025 is to 4x the amount of monthly users. So when does it grow from 4x to the amount of active users, to becoming a household name? It's got to be somewhere in between, right? Wrong. From the multiple interviews Ben's done, just by hearing him talk, not looking into his past, I see someone who thinks very quickly. I can tell what some might consider a stutter. It happens with people who stutter, and also people whose minds think faster than their mouth can move. I'll bet you anything he has bad handwriting too. This tells me he was under-promising the VeVe community and will likely over-deliver this year. And I know, well, why say one thing to the VeVe community and another thing to a community outside of VeVe? Well, he gave that first interview, that first answer months ago. Months ago, where maybe he wasn't sure how it was going to come together. But now that he's been able to assemble a team that I think he likes, he's becoming more confident in his abilities to give us these numbers. Ben would not have said this unless he was sure that he could get close, shoot for the stars and land on the moon. And like I said before, he's very intelligent. After Binance, he could have gone anywhere, but he chose to go with VeVe. Ben's cool. He's nice. He's hardworking. A bit of a nerd like us, but don't let that fool you. He's very conscientious, orderly, and I suspect disagreeable. He's not just taking a job because he thinks it'll be fun, although it probably is for him. He's taking this job because he knows that he can make more money here than almost anywhere else. Well, how do you know that? Because his benefits package is directly tied to the growth of the company. Ben's from Binance. He knows cycles. He came in at damn near the bottom of the bear market. With less than half the effort he's putting in now, he knew he'd make money because that narrative will surely hit again. Digital collectibles will become cool again, regardless of what's done. But with him at the helm giving maximum effort, hundreds of thousands will come in, and it was at this point that I stopped that interview that he was giving because I didn't need to see any more. He's betting on three things. One is the company. Again, the IP is the best in the world, and no other digital collectible company comes even close. Any license that he wants to get into digital collecting will have to either go with VeVe or they'll have a very difficult time on their own. This has been proven in the past, and it's likely that any new company would go bust. Number two is the community. YouTubers such as myself, Crypto Rain, Dr. Stuff, etc., people that host spaces such as Omili, Emoji, and VeVe Magic, other influencers with hundreds of thousands and millions of subscribers such as Pro the Doge and Andre Jick, all of us have made content on VeVe for free without so much as a single dime being given to us. It's nothing but heart and passion. We want to make content on this stuff because it's awesome. Not to mention, it'll be a huge flex to be able to say we knew about this and talked about it before anyone else did. Now, what happens when they start to incentivize people to talk about it? I think hundreds, if not thousands more come in, and even if it's just for the payday, VeVe will get around easier than a successful streetwalker. And number three, he's betting on himself. I joked with Ben once saying that he was probably a workaholic, and he joked back and did his best Greta Thunberg impression saying, "How dare you?" like he was offended. But he didn't say I was wrong. He knows how to grow a company. He did so at Binance. He's now since hired somebody else he worked with at Binance. And as I've said in previous videos, there's multiple benefits to working with the same team. He's also hired someone from Twitch, someone who knows how to build benefits packages that will attract the biggest streamers and influencers. I know a few have had meetings and are interested already. Some have hundreds of thousands of followers. Some have millions. Ben's hiring people that you gather if you want to go on a quest. They're the best at what they do. And in conjunction with Ben's specialized skills in leadership, revenue and profit growth, and marketing, I'm confident that VeVe does become a household name and that the OMI token will make me a decamillionaire. What's better than a king? A pair of kings. And that's what we have with the CEOs at VeVe. And that's why the goal is to get $1 billion or $1 billion OMI, so I could have at what I think will be a decamillionaire value just at 1 penny. And I expect it to go a lot higher than that. But again, that's just me. That's just my opinion. I could be completely wrong. Anyway, guys, that's it for me today. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. Love you guys. Bye.